Folks, let me tell you about a condo problem we can't even see. Then I'll get into the latest home prices and insights for condos across the GTA for week ending September 10th, 2025. If you want to speak directly with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. So I'm working with a condo buyer, and every few days we go out, we look at condos, and he's got as most buyers do, he's got a specific budget that he's after and a location and size for the condos and amenities. And as we look through these things online and we see new condos coming online, we book showings and we go see them. We went to go see this newer condo. It was a brand new building. We went to go see it, and my client liked the building quite a bit, liked the location. The layout of the unit kind of wasn't really what my client was looking for. But that evening, I received a phone call from the listing agent asking how my showing went. And I explained it to him that what I just told you, my client liked the building, location, not so much the actual unit. The layout kind of didn't make sense. Now, in my research of this unit before we went to go see it, I could see that it was being sold by the builder. It wasn't an end user that was selling it. Even though it was in a new building, there's many brand new buildings where the purchaser who bought from the builder is quickly reselling it. So there's lots of units out there that have never been lived in being sold by the actual homeowner. This one was being sold by the builder. And so I knew that. And when I'm speaking to this agent, he says to me, okay, Santo, no problem. He didn't like that one. Help me understand more of what he's looking for, because we've got, and he's talking like they've got like 20, 30 other units that are either completed or about to be completed. And maybe in there could be a unit that makes sense for my client. Now, think about this for a second. In a minute, a few minutes, when I go on to the data portion of the show, I'm going to show you active listings for condos just for the city of Toronto. It's around 5,600 active listings. And we've seen it over 6,000, closer to 7,000 over the course of this year. There's never been in the history of condos in the GTA more condos ever available for sale at the same time. But these are condos that are for sale through the MLS system. We can see those, we can see the data, we could add up the data. We know how many condos are for sale. And all my data that I talk about on the screen behind me comes from the Toronto MLS system. We know those numbers. But this agent who's got this one or maybe two condos listed for sale on the MLS system from the builder has tens of others, 10, 20, 30, I don't know how many other condos kind of in the shadows that are not presented in the MLS system. Builders don't want to just throw it all out there to flood the market even more than what it's flooded now. So they advertise one or two, but they're counting on the buyer kind of being in touch with their realtor, and then the realtor showing them other properties that are not listed. And here's the problem we can't see. If we know through the MLS system there's a ton of condos available for sale, those are the ones we know about. I'm telling you, there's a ton of condos available for sale we don't even know about. The problem is way worse than what we can see. Think about it. How many condos got built last year, that closed last year, where the construction was done? How many are closed this year? How many are going to be closing next year? And if I'm just talking to one of these condos and the agent is telling me 20, 30 others available, multiply by the how many condo projects are actually been completed or about to be completed. Like I said, there's a ton of inventory we don't even know about. We may never see those numbers on the MLS. So whatever we're seeing, the problem is far worse than that. If you've experienced this where you've been in a situation, let me know in the comments below. If you feel this video can help somebody please pass it along. And if you get value from what we're talking about, subscribe. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, this show is all about condos. This part of the show, all about data related to condos, specifically condo apartments for the City of Toronto, for York Region, for Peel Region. This is average sold price for 3 months. The difference between Peel Region condo, which is the lower of the 3 areas, versus the City of Toronto condos, which is the higher price point of the 3 areas. It's a $180,000 difference in average sold prices. For many, that could be the difference, especially for first-time home buyers. That could be the difference. Do I buy in Peel Region, and the majority of condos in Peel Region are bought and sold in Mississauga, or do I buy in the City of Toronto? That $180,000 could be the difference between what they can afford to buy. We're going to start off with the City of Toronto. For week ending September 10th, 159 condo apartments were sold. 17 of those sold at $1 million or more. Let's look at these numbers. I've written some numbers in here. Now the bottom, the yellow, that's how many condos are selling at $1 million or more. For week ending September 10th, it was 17, which represents 11% of the sales. Previous week, it was 11%. The week before that, 10%, 8%, 6, 5, 6, 11, 7, 9. Just looking at those few weeks, and I mean, we can do the same thing for the whole year, but it looks like somewhere between 8 to 10% of all condo sales are selling between $1 million or more. Not between, I mean, it's minimum of $1 million or more. Average sold price is currently sitting at $685,000. Now, when we look at average sold price, it's pretty clear. Over time, average sold price has come down. The last few weeks, some things have been happening there. It's kind of hard to tell a direction over the last couple of weeks, but overall, price for condos has been coming down. Again, this is just for the City of Toronto right now. Compared to last year, $685,000 is 4% lower than the same week a year ago. The median price of $600,000 is also 4% lower than the same week a year ago. The dotted line, that's a 4-week moving average. I've got 3 months on the board here, and average price and median price has been trending down. The last couple of weeks, some things have happened with price where we're not sure. It kind of looks like it's going up, but it's too soon to tell. There was a Labor Day long weekend in there. I know every time I say that, some of you go nuts when I say, what are you talking about, the long weekend? We see things happening on the long weekend that are many times outside of the realm of what the trend is. So we've got to see how things play out in the fall market right now. 159 we said were sold. 16%, excuse me, 16% of those sold at list price or more. Here's the listings. The blue, those are listings for the same week a year ago. The orange, that's current listings for the time we're in right now. And we can see what happened last year is happening this year. Listings are way up over the last few weeks. That's normal at this time of the year. Many listings expired or came off the market in August, and now being the fall market, many listings are coming back on, or they're new listings. They're sellers that were waiting for the summer to finish, and then they were putting their properties on the market. Well, let's look at the value of some of these properties that are on the market. When we look at new listings, 902 condo apartments were listed just for the city of Toronto. The ones that are listed at $1 million or more is 15% of all condo listings, new listings. When we look at active listings, there's almost 5,600. It's 5,592 active listings. So these are condos available for sale. Now, active listings, 1 week to the next, it's a bit higher. It was trending down for a while. As we see fewer listings, active listings was also trending down. But now we see a jump up as listings are jumping up. But active listings of all the properties, all the condos available for sale, listed at $1 million or more, 740. So 13% of all active listings are listed at $1 million or more. Months of inventory down a bit, sitting at 8.1 months of inventory. Overall, pretty much a buyer's market. When we look at the city broken down into 9 different areas, well, we can see Uptown, 6.9 months of inventory. We can see East York, Riverdale, 6.5 months of inventory. There was only 6 sales, but half of those, 50%, sold at list price or more. When we look at downtown, specifically downtown, which is the lion's share of all listings, well, 51 were sold, which is 32% of the whole city's sales. So basically 1/3 almost of all sales in the city for condos happen downtown. For detached, which was yesterday's show, 1/3 of all sales happen in Scarborough for the detached market. For condos, 1/3 of all sales is right downtown. When we look at active listings, 32%. So also almost 1/3 of all active listings are downtown. So that's kind of in line, right? You got 32% of all properties available for sale are downtown. The ratio kind of makes sense. The sales, if you got 32% of all listings, you're also getting 32% of all sales. Here's 1-bedroom condos. 69 condos were sold that were 1 bedrooms. This is also 1 bedroom plus den. And over time, average price of the 1 bedroom has been trending down. Now, it's not by a lot. It's just a little bit at a time. Over time, we're currently sitting at an average sold price of $532,000. But it was only $586. Over here is $570, high $560. We're now at $532. Like it's just creeping down. It's not dropping hard. It's a slow burn down. Compared to the same week a year ago, $532,000 is 9% lower. Looking at 2-bedroom condos, prices are going the other way. 80 of the 2-bedroom condos were sold. Average sold price is $807,000. $807,000 is 3% lower than the same week a year ago. And when we compare the two, 1-bedroom versus 2-bedroom, well, sales pretty much even. 1 week one's a little more, the other week the other pretty similar in sales. But average price, there's a difference of $275,000. Months of inventory, pretty similar. The 1-bedroom, 8 months of inventory. The 2-bedroom, 7.3 months of inventory. Not a huge difference there. Let's look at York Region condos. For week ending September 10th, 33 sold, 1 sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price on a weekly basis, it's up and down, but overall trending down. It's currently at $638,000. $638 is 3% lower year over year. The median price of $655 is 7% lower. Average price and median price trending down. 33 were sold. 2 of those, so 6% sold at list price or more. Listings, like in most areas and most property types, listings are much higher. Active listings has been trending down, but this week it's now a little bit higher. And months of inventory, 7.5 months of inventory. Here's Peel region. 33 condo apartments were sold. No condo sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price, one way all the way down, currently at $505,000 as the average sold price. 505 is 14% lower than the same week a year ago. The median price is 7%. Median price is 586, 7% lower year over year. 33 were sold, 8, which is 24%, sold at list price or more. Listings higher. Active listings overall trending down, but this week to the next it's higher, and I would expect it's going to continue to climb for the next few weeks. Months of inventory, a little lower, now at 7.6 months of inventory. When we see months of inventory lined up, it's pretty clear we're sitting in a buyer's market. Pretty clear. And you're going to see lots of condos out there that are available for sale. There's lots of condos you're not going to see that are also available for sale. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.